She's back. She has sunglasses on again. Why do I have sunglasses on this time? Oh my God, I'm so glad you asked. I got home from work really late and I am going to California tomorrow. I have a very early flight and I just didn't feel like it. And I thought maybe it'd be fun to just like wear a bunch of different sunglasses. Cause I just felt like it. Okay, I'm gonna start with what I'm painting today. What am I painting today? So I am painting dice. We play like Farkle sometimes. I don't know if you guys know what that game is. It's just like a little die game. We thrifted one from a Goodwill and it's like one of those luxury packs. Like, you know how sometimes games come out with like nice additions? So instead of having just like one set of dice, it has like 6 sets of different colored dice. So there's like purple, orange, pink, blue, green, and I am like obsessed with it. I freaking love color dye. I think it's so pretty. And I have this like really pretty photo of like we were playing the game outside and the sun's hitting it and it's just like a really good still life, I guess. And I want to get better at those. So we're practicing, we're sketching. These sunglasses are not my inside sunglasses, so this is really going to be trusting my instincts here. Life update. I think I might be a Swiftie. I wasn't expecting that. I've never disliked Taylor Swift. I just would have never considered myself a Swiftie. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved her, still love her, but I love in middle school and high school, like the Love Story, the Red album is probably like my favorite that I used to listen to a lot. I don't know when that came out, like 10 years ago maybe. And then I have not listened to an album all the way through since Red, I think. And for whatever reason, I decided to turn on The Life of a Showgirl. I was home in Michigan and I decided to listen to it while I was working and I love it. And I listened to it over and over and over and over again. And I'm still listening to it over and over and over again. And I really wasn't expecting that. I heard there's like controversy around it, but I love it. I love a pop girly. I just love Taylor Swift kind of. I really wasn't expecting that. I'm happy for her. And I guess I didn't really like realize how powerful she was. Like you hear about her flying around everywhere and owning all of her music, which is a big deal, and just how much like of a girl boss she is. And I think I'm slowly like gonna fall into her little Taylor Swift Swiftie world, which I'm excited for. If I'm in the mood to listen to another album while I'm on the airplane, I think I'm gonna have to do that. What else is new? I went back to Michigan. That's when I listened to the album. And you know what I realized when I was there? I think I'm from like the Metro Detroit area. I think that the drivers might be crazier there than Denver. And Denver drivers are pretty crazy. And I think that everybody might just think that their like city has the craziest weather, like the craziest drivers. But when I was home, I drove downtown one day and I was genuinely very concerned and terrified for myself. And I literally wrote in my notes app, I keep like little reminders to make sure I stay thankful. And I literally wrote to myself, don't complain about Denver drivers anymore because these drivers are crazy. I'm sorry, there's ruckus going on outside. Oh, must have stopped. Okay. What else? Oh, and then we also just recently had my partner's parents in town. We went up to Winter Park and we did a bunch of puzzles. I love a puzzle, you guys. It's like, we're just gonna have to go like this. I love a puzzle. I have always loved puzzles. When I was in college, my mom for Christmas gifted me one of those like big packs of puzzles. I had like multiple puzzles in like a box, if you know what I mean? Like in one box you got like 3 1,000 piece puzzles, a couple 500 piece puzzles. And I used to go home from the bar early to do puzzles. I would skip class to do puzzles, which is crazy for me because I did not skip class that often. You shouldn't skip class. I don't know if that falls into like the safety is sexy category, but you're paying for it. You're getting educated, you should go to class. Besides the point, excuse my tangent. I loved puzzles so much that we used to do puzzles at like, all my girlfriends lived together in a house and I lived like in an apartment down the street. And when they were at class, I would like sneak into their house and like do some of the puzzle while they weren't there. Cause they would get mad at me because I would do it. I would like stay up all night doing it all. I love a puzzle. I feel like I'm like cracked on a puzzle. I love a puzzle, you guys. And we're in Winter Park. We did a couple puzzles with his parents and we watched some good old Halloween classics and it was lovely. Lovely, lovely. Okay, you guys know the drill. Listener questions. The listeners are just my friends, but we're getting to the end of these, so I really got to figure out what I'm going to do next. People are going to really have to start writing in because I can't rely on my friends for everything all the time, even though they do it for me and I love them for that. Okay, this first one. And they're all just like really deep. And I feel really bubbly right now and I don't really feel like being like deep, but we'll ease into it. First question, are side hustles actually worth it or do they just burn people out? Side hustles are worth it, and if they burn you out, then just stop doing it. That was an easy answer. Are side hustles worth it? I think side hustles are worth it. I feel like a side hustle is a good way to like dip your toes into what you think you would like out of life. And if they burn you out, just stop doing the side hustle. Just don't rely on the money that you're getting from your side hustle. I feel like it'd be good to think about a side hustle as just like an internship in adulthood. It's a way to try something out without having to completely dive in. Yeah, and if it's burning you out, then stop doing it. If you could survive without a side hustle before, you can do it again. I would say also if your side hustle is distracting you from your main hustle, then maybe don't do that. But yeah, side hustles are definitely worth it. I love a side hustle. I love people who have tons of side hustles. Why not have a side hustle? Side hustle, side hustle, side hustle. Okay. I don't like this. The more I'm thinking about it too, also the thing with side hustles, I have 1,000 side hustles. I want to do 1,000 side hustles. Maybe for the ADD girlies, like it's good. You can just let your mind run wild, and if the side hustle dies, it just dies and it's okay. And having a million ideas and your brain going a million miles an hour sometimes, maybe it can be an outlet for that, you know? As long as you're not like putting yourself into debt, then side hustle it up. I think learn as much as you can in every category you can. Life doesn't get less busy, so become a hustler. All right. Da, 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 da. Oof. What's your best? I might just do like quick hitters and just like say the first thing that comes to my mind and see how it goes. What's your best money advice for someone who feels behind? Stop comparing yourself to other people. That's my advice. And stop spending money on things. You don't need it. You don't need it. I think we live in an overconsumption world, honestly, and comparison is the thief of joy. I actually think it through a little. Yeah, I think my advice is to just stop spending money and you'll get there. And nobody's ever there. Because just when you think things are expensive because everything is $20, then everything is $50. Then when everything is $50, everything is $100. When everything is $100, everything's $1,000. When everything's $1,000, everything's $10,000. I think if you can put food on the table and dress yourself and see your family on the holidays, then you're doing great. I also think if you feel behind in money, because I definitely did a lot in my early 20s. I mean, I still do. I'm like, people are out here buying houses and shit, and I'm like, are we gonna make it to next paycheck? Just kidding, I don't have that fear anymore. I will make it to next paycheck, but I used to feel like I couldn't do that, especially when I had a lot of student loans. I feel like I graduated in a hole, and it was really hard for me to relate to people that didn't graduate with student debt. It felt like my early 20s were robbed in a way of being young and dumb because I couldn't spend any money on anything. And I felt like I was surrounded for a small period of time by people who all of a sudden were getting paychecks and they could just spend it however. Like all they had to deal with was rent, where I had rent and even more money going to loans. I didn't have a car. I wasn't on my parents' health insurance. Like all of that. I felt like I was starting life in a hole. And the only thing I can say is, if you feel that way, number one, you don't need it. Be creative with like where you spend your money. I just feel like on social media, sometimes I see so many like TikTok reels of like, you need this tiny little device that does this one thing. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. The only thing that's coming to mind is like those back phone thingies, which I know they're cheap, but like that press up to the mirror. Like, do you need that, or can you just like tape your phone up? That's what I was doing for a while. And like, do you really need an expensive camera, or like, can you make it work? Like the camera that I used in my early 20s, I bought on Facebook Marketplace for $20. My little digital camera, like I see those marketed on TikTok all the time. I found one at Goodwill for literally $10. Like, once you get accustomed to that lifestyle, you have to look at your financial situation when you graduate. If you are comparing yourself to others who seem way further ahead of you, obviously all this experience is coming from me being in my 20s, early 20s, but like, be excited to struggle, because once you're not, you're really going to appreciate when you're not. And just be smart when you're struggling with money. Like, because once you're not, you're really going to appreciate it. And just trust that. And stop comparing yourself to others. Nobody has money. And if they do have a bunch of money, then they don't know the value of money. And it's really not that big of a deal. Okay, this next one's also kind of on theme as the last one, but I always compare myself to other people at my age, how do you deal with that? I feel like the obvious answer here is always going to be social media. But I think sometimes just giving somebody the answer of get off social media doesn't help that much, because then once you get off, you scroll, you get off, and then you're in like a dopamine deficiency and you're just sad and you want to go on again. So I'm going to say instead, start a gratitude journal. I started a gratitude journal like 3 years ago now. I've always journaled. I'm a huge advocate for journaling. I think it's not something you have to be like do every day unless you love to do it, but I think it's a good thing to do over the course of your lifetime. And I started doing just like 3 things I'm thankful for every day. I'm not very consistent with it. I'm not very consistent with anything, but that's besides the point. And I think that has helped me a lot in comparing myself to others, because sometimes if I have a little extra time, I'll like flip back a couple years prior to see like what I was thankful for on this day 2 years ago. And it's like a real life catalog of how far you've come that doesn't involve like a screen or sharing memories with other people. Like, it's an intimate feeling of gratitude with yourself that you write down every morning. And I think that can help a lot. I think it's hard not to compare yourself to others. Yeah, gratitude journal. And obviously, when you have a gratitude journal, it's easy to write every day, I'm thankful for this food, I'm thankful for the roof over my head. Obviously, we're thankful for all of those things, but if you start to try and push yourself to at least do, like, stop, think, what am I truly thankful for? If food and a roof over your head comes up, incredible, but pushing yourself to try and think of something unique to that day, I think having like even just a 1-word sentence of that over the course of your lifetime, or even just a few months or years, really can help you like pull you out of that space of feeling like you're comparing yourself to others or people are further ahead in life than you. I think it helps with that. And also, side note, I think something we all need to remember is that when we're in school, everybody has like the same caliber of like criteria that they're meeting. Like, we're in 10th grade, now we're in 11th grade, now we're graduating. That once you graduate, like there's no rubric for anything. Like, you have to figure out how you're gonna like measure your life, or like what quota do you need to meet to like feel fulfilled. And I think it's very easy to get caught up in like, oh, they're doing this. Should I use that as a criteria that I'm trying to strive for? Or like, they opened a business, they're getting married. It's easy to feel like you need to be doing everything. So I think just keeping a personal record of look how far I've come, even since last month, is always a good idea. Okay, this next one. How do you know if you're with the right person or just wasting your time? You don't. You never know. I feel like the common answer here would be nothing is a waste of time. I disagree with that. I have dated people that have been a waste of my precious, precious time. Multiples of them. How do you know? That's the hard part, huh? How do you know? You don't know until you know, I guess. Honestly, ask your friends. Your friends know if you're wasting your time with someone. Like, you know when you get your friend gets like a partner and it just like makes sense? Like, you couldn't imagine them with anyone else. hopefully that's like what you're looking for. Like, I feel like friends usually have a very keen sense of your body language, your history, who you are naturally as a person, just when you're relaxed, you're goofy, whatever, that I think your friends usually are very keen if that sense of self changes in any way when you're with someone. I wouldn't say just go to your friends and say, hey, do you think I'm with the right person, and let them dictate your life, but if you're wondering or if you're feeling iffy, just ask them. I don't know. That's hard. I think knowing when to stay and knowing when to walk away is like the hardest thing you're ever going to have to do in life. And you do it a lot. You do it with your job. You do it with partners. You do it when someone's in the hospital, you have to decide to pull the plug or not. It's grim, but it's true. Like, I don't think it ever gets easier. How do you know if you're wasting your time? I don't think you know until you know. I think you need to just accept that. Let me rephrase this. I think I found the answer. I think you're wasting your time if your little glisten in your eye that makes you you disappears, and all of a sudden you have a lot of self-doubt all of the time. Maybe you're wasting your time. Maybe you should have a conversation with someone. I don't know. Okay, I don't know about that last question. I might cut it out because I don't have all the answers. Okay. Oh, let me put these back on. It looks way better. Okay, what is it giving? What am I gonna name it? It's giving 70s. It's giving like 70s roller rink, 70s like furniture, the dream portal into a 1972 velvet couch. Here she is. It's meant to go this way. I don't know. You guys can name this one for me. Let me know. Again, not available. If you want it, I can roll it up and send it to you. Just message me on my website or DMs, and available paintings are on my website. And thank you for listening. Bye.